Jeff Bezos is a name known around the world. The founder of Amazon, the builder of Blue Origin, and the man who reshaped how we shop, read, and even think about space. But his journey didn't start with billions. It started with struggle, courage, and one life-changing realization. This is the documentary of how Jeff Bezos got rich, not just with money, but with vision. Humble beginnings. Born on January 12, 1964, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Jeff Bezos entered the world under unlikely circumstances. His mother, Jacqueline, was only 17 years old and still in high school. Raising a baby while attending school wasn't easy, and she faced harsh rules and even had to fight to stay enrolled. Jacqueline showed courage by moving out, even giving up basic comforts like a telephone just to create a stable life for her son. Jeff's biological father, Ted Jorgensen, left early in Jeff's life. But things changed when Jacqueline married Mike Bezos, a Cuban immigrant who adopted Jeff and gave him his last name. Mike worked hard, rising through corporate ranks, setting an example of grit and resilience. Jeff's early life wasn't rich in money, but it was full of valuable lessons. The kind of lessons that money can't buy. Watching his mother and stepfather push through hard times gave him a model of persistence and personal responsibility. It was clear even then, greatness isn't born, it's built. Summers on the ranch. As a boy, Jeff spent many summers with his grandfather, Lawrence Gies, on a ranch in Cotulla, Texas. This wasn't just vacation, it was a school of life. Lawrence was a retired official from the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, but on the ranch, he was a mechanic, a vet, a builder, and a problem solver. If something broke, Lawrence didn't call for help, he fixed it. If an animal was sick, he treated it himself. Jeff watched as his grandfather took on every challenge with confidence, even if he didn't know the solution at first. This made a deep impression. Jeff learned that you don't have to be an expert to start solving problems. You learn as you go. That mindset, figure it out, then improve, would become the core of Amazon's culture. He also learned self-reliance and the value of getting your hands dirty. These weren't just chores. They were early leadership lessons. Those dusty summers were far from glamorous, but they planted the seeds of curiosity, resilience, and bold action, traits that would later grow into global success. First job at McDonald's. At age 16, Jeff took a job at McDonald's as a line cook in Albuquerque. He flipped burgers, cleaned floors, and operated machines. It might seem like a simple job, but to Jeff, it was a masterclass in efficiency. He noticed how every second mattered, how systems were designed to handle pressure, and how customer service could make or break the experience. Jeff didn't just see a restaurant, he saw a process, a machine that could be improved. That early exposure to operational systems sparked something. Jeff began to think about how businesses could be automated, streamlined, and scaled. This thinking later influenced Amazon's legendary logistics system, where speed, efficiency, and accuracy became core values. It wasn't glamorous work, but it was honest. And most importantly, it taught Jeff to pay attention to details, because the details are what create excellence. Even the smallest job can teach you the biggest lessons, if you're paying attention. Education and Wall Street. Bezos excelled academically, eventually earning a place at Princeton University. At first, he aimed to be a theoretical physicist, but after realizing he didn't want to spend his life in a lab, he shifted to computer science and electrical engineering, a decision that would open doors. After graduation, Jeff turned down safer jobs and joined a startup called Fitel, and later a hedge fund named D.E. Shaw. It was there he climbed the ranks and met his future wife, Mackenzie Scott. At D.E. Shaw, Jeff noticed something incredible. The internet was growing at a rate of 2,300% per year. That one fact sparked a question. What would it mean to build a business on the web? And then came the mindset shift, the one that made Jeff Bezos rich.
You can't skip steps. You have to put one foot in front of the other. Things take time. There are no shortcuts. Successes compensate for dozens and dozens of things that didn't work. We all have adversity in our lives. And by the way, that's good because it's what teaches us how to get back up. You fall down, you get back up. It always happens. And you have to always be leaning into the future.
The regret minimization framework. Jeff asked himself one question. When I'm 80, will I regret not doing this? He called it his regret minimization framework. That question changed his life. He had a great job, a good salary, and stability. But he knew if he didn't try to build an online business, he'd always wonder, what if? So he made the bold move. Quit Wall Street, packed up his car, and drove to Seattle. In 1994, Amazon was born in a garage. His goal? To build the biggest online bookstore in the world. It wasn't about getting rich quick. It was about taking a chance while minimizing lifelong regret. That's the idea that made him rich. Courage doesn't mean no fear. It means doing it anyway. If you want to build something extraordinary, ask the bigger question. Will I regret not trying? Amazon's early struggles and breakthrough. Amazon didn't start as a tech giant. It started with used desks, hand-packed boxes, and daily challenges. Bezos and his team had no warehouse, no systems, and barely any money. They packed books on the floor and personally delivered packages to the post office. But Jeff didn't quit. He focused on the customer. Every improvement was aimed at making the experience better. Faster shipping, easier searches, lower prices. In 1997, Amazon went public. It raised $54 million, and its stock shot up. Investors believed. But challenges weren't over. Surviving the dot-com crash. In 2000, the dot-com bubble burst, and Amazon's stock plummeted from $113 to just $6. Many tech startups folded overnight. Jeff Bezos saw billions vanish, at least on paper. The company was forced to lay off employees, and critics loudly predicted Amazon's failure. But Jeff didn't panic. He remained focused, telling his team, "Stock prices are temporary. What we're building is real." Instead of pulling back, he doubled down, improving Amazon's operations, cutting unnecessary costs, and pouring energy into customer satisfaction. That bold strategy worked. By 2003, Amazon's stock had rebounded, and the company was growing stronger than ever. Bezos proved that true leadership isn't just about riding the highs. It's about staying steady in the lows and building something that lasts through any storm. Amazon Web Services and the Kindle. Jeff Bezos knew that to keep Amazon growing, he couldn't rely on retail alone. In 2002, he launched Amazon Web Services, AWS, allowing other companies to rent Amazon's cloud computing infrastructure. At first, it flew under the radar. But over time, AWS exploded into a multi-trillion-dollar industry, powering companies from Netflix to NASA. It turned Amazon into a technology powerhouse. Then came 2007, the year Amazon released the Kindle. Suddenly, readers could download books instantly and carry an entire library in their pocket. Publishers were nervous, bookstores were threatened, but readers were thrilled. Kindle sales soared. These two innovations, AWS and Kindle, proved Amazon wasn't just an online store. It was a company that could reshape entire industries with bold, forward-thinking ideas. Bezos had set a new standard: innovate, disrupt, and lead. Obsession over customers. Jeff Bezos built Amazon with one belief: focus entirely on the customer. Our competitors aren't the focus. Our customers are, he said often. For Bezos, every product, service, and decision had to pass one test. Does this make life easier for our customers? This philosophy led to one of Amazon's greatest moves in 2005, Amazon Prime. At first, it offered fast, free shipping for a yearly fee. But it didn't stop there. Prime expanded to include streaming movies, music, books, and even exclusive shopping deals. Millions of users signed up. Amazon's strength wasn't just technology. It was a relentless obsession with convenience, value, and trust. That customer loyalty became Amazon's most powerful asset. Bezos believed that if you make your customers happy, success will follow. And he proved it. His customer-first approach didn't just change shopping, it reshaped the internet economy. Blue Origin, dreaming beyond Earth. Even while building one of the biggest companies on Earth, Jeff Bezos never lost sight of his childhood dream: space travel. In 2000, he founded Blue Origin, a space exploration company with a simple but powerful vision: to make space accessible to everyone. Bezos didn't rush the process. Blue Origin quietly worked for years before making headlines. In 2015, the company successfully landed a reusable rocket, a major leap toward affordable space travel. Bezos has said he believes millions of people will live and work in space one day. For him, it's not about escaping Earth, but protecting it by moving heavy industries off-planet. He views space as humanity's next great frontier. Even after becoming the richest man alive, Bezos kept dreaming bigger. Blue Origin isn't just a company. It's a mission to expand what's possible for humanity. Richest man in the world. By 2018, Jeff Bezos had become the richest person on the planet, with a net worth topping $112 billion. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Amazon's business exploded as people turned to online shopping more than ever. By 2020, his fortune crossed $200 billion, an amount few thought any individual could reach. Yet, even with his massive wealth, Bezos made a surprising decision. In 2021, he stepped down as Amazon's CEO. He wanted to focus on passion projects like Blue Origin and philanthropy through the Bezos Earth Fund and Day One Fund. Bezos once said, "If you're not curious, you're not learning." For him, wealth was never the goal. It was a tool to chase big ideas and solve big problems. His story shows that success isn't just measured by money. It's measured by your impact, your legacy, and how boldly you chase your vision. The lesson that made him rich. What truly made Jeff Bezos one of the richest people in history? It wasn't just timing or technology. It was a simple idea: regret. Before starting Amazon, Bezos had a safe job in finance. But he feared that one day he'd look back and regret not trying. That fear of regret pushed him to act. Even when others doubted him, he created what he called the regret minimization framework. He asked himself, "When I'm 80, will I regret not doing this?" If the answer was yes, he took the leap. That thinking led to Amazon, Blue Origin, and countless innovations. Bezos believes the biggest risk isn't failure, it's never trying. His story is a reminder that bold decisions are rarely easy, but they're often necessary. If something matters deeply to you, go for it. Because in the end, what we don't do haunts us the most. Jeff Bezos became one of the richest people in the world, not just because he understood business, but because he understood regret. He took chances, he worked hard, and he never stopped thinking long-term. His story proves that greatness is built, not given. If you found this documentary inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss more deep dives like this. Who knows? The next story could change your life too.